Shifting focus to another zone of conflict in the Himalayas. I am talking about the secret clashes between Indian and Chinese troops. New details reveal that tensions continued through 2021 and 2022. At least two previously unknown incidents of skirmishes have now come to light. Last week, the Indian Army presented gallantry awards to personnel for acts of bravery. One such act involved the relaying of live feed from the enemy side in the Sikkim sector by a major rank officer for 120 hours. The incidents mentioned in the citations took place between September 2021 and November 2022. There was no immediate comment on the matter by the Indian Army. Following the clashes between the Indian and Chinese troops in the year 2020, the Indian Army has maintained a very high level of alertness. It has kept its troops combat ready along the 3,488-kilometer-long line of actual control. In the last 3.5 years, following the eruption of the Rao in the eastern Ladakh area, there have been multiple incidents of skirmishes. The Chinese troops have attempted to transgress in India's Tawang sector as well. In fact, on the 9th of December 2022, Chinese troops tried to transgress the LAC in the Yangtze area of the Tawang sector. And 4 days after the incident, in the Indian Parliament, the Defence Minister had said that China's bid to transgress was contested by the Indian troops in a firm and resolute manner. According to Indian media, several Indian Army personnel who were part of the team that responded firmly to China's aggression were also conferred gallantry awards at last week's investiture ceremony. Since the standoff, both India and China have held multiple rounds of diplomatic talks. The 28th round of talks that took place in the first week of December ended with no clear indication of a major breakthrough. The talks were held virtually. These talks take place under the framework of the Working Mechanism for the Consultation and Coordination of India-China Border Affairs. The Indian Foreign Ministry described these talks as constructive. You see, both New Delhi and Beijing agree on the need to maintain peace and tranquility along the border areas. At the same time, both India and China have ramped up the troop build-up at the border. After the beginning of the standoff, India and China rushed thousands of troops in forward posts along the LAC. Here, they largely continue to remain deployed. The disengagement and de-escalation is still incomplete. And even though China agrees that peace at the border is imperative, Beijing has undertaken massive build-up of infrastructure habitat. They are inducting new weapons as well as military equipment along the LAC. Their goal is to fundamentally alter the status quo on the ground. And India is more than aware. New Delhi also has undertaken massive capability enhancement. Over 50,000 troops, heavy equipment continue to be stationed. In conclusion, both sides resolve to continue talks in order to achieve stability on the ground. China says it wants peace but remains resolute when it comes to withdrawing its troops from LAC. And this has meant that India's bilateral ties with China remain frozen. In 2023, with no forward movement on the horizon, this is despite the several rounds of military and diplomatic talks. In the words of India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, the Chinese literally brought tens of thousands of soldiers in full military preparation at the border in Ladakh in violation of all bilateral agreements. So it is India that wants peace for the overall development of bilateral ties, and the disturbance is all thanks to China. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.